or text. I know that I've already played these notes several times, but I really like these notes. That's why I play them a lot. I get stuck wherever I am. There's quicksand. My higher brain always has the upper hand. I don't have to understand. I'll still be the way I am. People can't wait to make assumptions, even though I'll straight up tell 'em exactly what's going on. There's another dimension of space and time that most Earth people can't see. There is always a book in my head that I have to read. That's why I can't pay attention to what you just told me. You're gonna have to repeat it. And the ones that don't mind are my people. I'm tired of explaining everything. It's a compulsion. It's like staying up until the sun comes up. It's just what I do. I guess it's a lifestyle of excessive dopamine. It's a lifestyle of living inside the in-between. Living in between the in-between. The cracks. We've fallen within the cracks. How about that? I wish you didn't take it so personally, but no, that's just you. That's how you operate.
sedimentary rock. Is that right? Is that an old ass rock? I think it is. I should look it up. There will be an asterisk. In case you're not familiar with this channel, anytime we say something and it's questionable, we look it up on the interweb. Because believe it or not, we're one of the few people on the interweb that doesn't have a smartphone device because we thought way more than twice. And we don't want to kiss goodbye our frontal lobe. Not saying you did that intentionally, but you probably should pay more attention to shit like your brain, because that's literally the most important part of your body. And that's why my country is so very stupid, and that's why my generation is way more than stupid, and that's why our civilization will surely die. Yes, oh yes, oh yes, you know that I've cried about it. But what's the point in mourning something that other people don't seem to give a shit about? Well, I can still have my private funeral. I'll always have my private funeral though. That's always going on. That's why I'm laughing about it. You know that it's serious if we're joking. You know that it's serious if I have to make light of the darker parts of it. The darker parts of it, which is most of it. Scorning it right. That's why they pigeonhole. Just blame it on a group, and you never have to stay out of control. Seriously, every time, think about it like this, every time that people point the finger, that's their way of staying in control, you know, because they're the one pointing. If they don't know who's at fault, they don't have this one ability to point the finger, you know? Man, I'm a genius. I'm a genius! I'm figuring things out! It's not going to change anything, whatever. See, I can be happy that I know the things that I know and still let it go, cause I know it don't amount to nothing, at least in regards to what happens to this world and its inhabitants. always stepping in pudding, but nobody notices the pudding but me. But I'm not arrogant, even though I will surely get accused of being arrogant. You just wish you had these voices, honey. I have voices cause I exercise my choices that I know about. This is a fine example of neuroplasticity, baby. You guys know what that is? It's when your brain, you know the one, or maybe you don't, this thing inside of your skull, okay, that you actively destroy every time you scroll, that thing, that pesky ass thing, that annoying thing that's attached to that other annoying thing. Who needs thoughts? Who needs feelings? Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. I was trying to make about the brain. I got sidetracked by my own humor. By my own comedic brilliance. I got distracted. Talking about the brain. What was I saying about the brain? This just kind of proves that mine is not functioning, right? Because I forget stuff very easily. I have schizophrenia, which is like ADHD 5000. Split mind. That's why we live in another dimension in time, baby. Baby. Remember saying that, baby. I said something before I said baby. What was it? Neuroplasticity, baby. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. I just ask him to give me the thought, and he does. He sends it back to me. It's like on a leash. But neuroplasticity is when you develop some kind of resilience, like your brain accommodates to something that clinicians, of course, would consider a disability. So if you diss an ability to do one thing, if you look at it right, if you have a good perspective about it, you keep your head up, your brain will accommodate it in a really good way, and you'll develop something else. Like your other senses will be stronger. You know, it's like if somebody has an injury and they don't do what they want to do. They don't do what they thought they were going to do with their life because of the injury. Or it could be a disability or whatever. An accident, a loss, a tragedy. Any of this stuff can happen. Neuroplasticity will allow a person to be able to move on and make something better out of their circumstance. And so, yeah, it's definitely something that you want. And, because everybody's convinced that they're a victim, and because they're a victim, they have this phony idea of who a hero could be. Probably a shrink. Just my guess. But yeah, people that see themselves as victims, they tend to look to people, places, and things as some sort of hero, because they can't accept that they were the ones that put themselves in the situation, more than likely. Even if they didn't, even if they were a victim of something terrible, they have the chance to look at it differently. And if they don't, go into the gloom and doom self-pity room, if they don't go into that, then they'll be able to do something really cool with whatever it was. But yeah, most people are being trained to play victim about everything. And It's just really sad. It's really sad what has happened to the world. And it's happened super fast because of social media. And also, like, universities and, you know, all the bullshit that these kids are being taught in schools, and the group feel. Experimenting, you guys. This is the synth sound. Well, it's actually brass ensemble. Eventually I'll sing again. I just don't know what I'm going to sing about. Used to feel sorry for myself. I was just insecure. Used to feel sorry for myself. And then I worked for a while. Also lived in my head. So I was experiencing two different worlds simultaneously. And I know that everybody does this in some way. They train themselves to not talk about it. I know that everybody does everything I do in some sort of way. I'm not that different, but I still am. I mean, I'm pretty sure that people don't analyze things as much as I do. If they did, I mean, they would have more to show for it, you know what I mean? Like, what this channel is, like, it's like a fucking, I call it the Encyclopedia Shitanica, because it's like, yeah, just this documentary of, like, a loop. It's like a mental ill loop. But it's like, I know how it seems. It's like super self-indulgent and like self, I get it. But everybody's like this in a way. It's just they have things to fill their time, you know? I fill my time with me. You know, other people have other people to fill their time, or they have things that they do, like, you know, or they have children, right? They have children to fill their time, or they have, you know, social media or TV and all kinds of distractions to fill their time. I fill my time with me. Okay? So yeah, Freud would call me a narcissist. I already know, but he was a piece of shit. And Jewish. That's why he was secular. Anyway, I'm kidding. Not all Jews are like that. Ronit is my baby. She's my baby. I'm her baby, really. She's a lot older than me. She's like 55, I think. No, I think she's 54. I should ask her next time I talk to her. I probably seem like a terrible friend because I don't know how old she is, but like, she's older. She's Gen X, okay? Just know that. That's my Jew. She's in Jerusalem. And she's constantly complaining, though she was doing that in America. But she's talking about how they're building this place like across the street from her. And she's like, I'm pretty sure it's all computerized. Yes. They really are like trying to turn everything into this digital hellscape. And it already is. And the reason why it is because people are totally addicted to the internet. So this AI feature and all that stuff, it's because human beings have voluntarily thrown away their humanity and traded it for the internet. Okay? Now I know I probably seem very hypocritical because of what I'm doing on the internet, but y'all have to understand that this YouTube channel is essentially my telephone on a string because I don't live in that world. Like the world that I document on here, that's like the world that I live in. I don't care about all this stupid bullshit on this other like dimension of reality. So basically I feel like the reason why I'm able to see it the way that I see it is because I'm already crazy, and so I can see like how it's making everybody else crazy to live in this non-existent world that people think is so important. But it's like the internet's here to prove that everything is fake and made up anyway. So like this is just a giant lab experiment. It really is. But if you're in touch with your creator and if you talk to him all the time, like you can just stay in that space and it's beautiful. And it's still nauseating, don't get me wrong. Still nauseating, still painful, still terrible, still horrifying. But at least we have God. At least we have God. And we're not blowing a ridiculous amount of money on a bunch of stuff that is not actually going to make sense out of anything. I think about how much money I've wasted on stupid shit. But like all the money I've spent on like bags of drugs and booze and cigarettes, and it's just like at least I got fucked up, you know? Like that, all that stuff got used, you know? Everything else is like I buy books, I don't fucking read them. I buy food, I throw it away. I buy outfits I don't even wear. It's just stupid. I fucking hate it. I hate that I'm like this. But then, like, I think about people, like this friend of mine at work, like her boyfriend, she just found out that he's like blowing like 12 grand on sports betting. And I'm like, man, it could be so much worse than you buying a ridiculous amount of Bibles, or bags of drugs, or whatever, you know? Oh, I read the Bibles, though. I read the Bibles. It's the only one that I'll actually read. Because it's an easy read. Because it's like for ADHD 5000 people, you know? So, like, I can just read a proverb and think about that for a long period of time, you know? That's just one thing. The same with sign language. So I just learned the sign for drugs. Take your middle finger, take the right middle finger, put it in your left palm, and circle it. That's what drugs. It's technically medicine. drugs. I'm like, that makes sense that it's the middle finger, because yeah, fuck me, right? Anyway, like, just all the money that we waste, all the time we waste, all the energy we waste on stupid shit, or shit that doesn't work out, or shit that it lasts this fucking long, and it's so crazy to think about. But I can't even imagine spending 12 grand on a rigged game. And like, I told her, I was like, just tell him the whole thing's rigged. But if he's already wasting that much money, he's probably like all the way brainwashed, you know? So there ain't no telling him that that's a fixed game. But here's the thing, this whole sports betting stuff is kind of proof that that's true. Because yeah, they're making so much money off of it. They make a ridiculous amount of money. The NFL makes so much money. It's retarded. I just don't understand how, like, people that claim to be fans of football can't see that they're not playing real football. You know? That just doesn't make any sense to me. But it's okay. I'm a crazy person, so I cannot be believed. Aren't you so lucky that I talk about it? Because I'm sure you'd have no idea. Well, you know what's funny? Is that half the people I talk to, like, they assume that I'm just exaggerating. But it's because I don't fit the stereotype that they've been trained to believe in by the media. And then half the people think like I'm totally delusional and I'm in a schizo episode, you know, I'm suffering all this shit, you know. So it's interesting. It's interesting all the different perspectives on my life. But you just gotta trust God. If you keep trusting God, like, you really can't go wrong. Because even if you're wrong, even if you make mistakes, and you will, you're human, you will. You're not Jesus, so you're gonna make some mistakes, okay? Yeah, just own it and ask for God's help. Don't ask for anybody else's help, though, because people don't want to help you unless they want to throw pills at you. That's help in America, okay? Yeah. God will direct you. So, yeah. That's the best advice that I could give to people that don't want good advice.